All right, now we're going to start diving a little deeper into how we can add our own content into our ArcGIS Online organization or ArcGIS Enterprise. And it's going to start with the same import we've been seeing a lot from ArcGIS.gis, import GIS. And this is going to give us the ability to log into our system. So using the information we learned from the second video about connecting to our ArcGIS Online and Enterprise, we're going to use a profile this time for one that I've saved previously. So I'm going to connect to Online. I follow the Your Online pattern in Your Enterprise, just like it does in the documentation for the ArcGIS API for Python. I'm going to go ahead and use data from the New York City Open Data site, specifically this facilities database. It's a shapefile, and you can read some information about it on the notebooks once they're moved up. And I'm going to download that data set if I hadn't already. So I'm going to use the standard request library along with the temp file package for a location on my system where I want to store it. So I'm going to say, get me my temp directory, and then using the OS module, I'm going to join these paths together so it'll have the complete folder path, and then merge it together with the zip file here. After we could do that, I'm going to check to see if it doesn't exist on my system. Maybe I downloaded it already. And then if it isn't, I'm going to download it, save it to a file, and write out the content. And then we're going to go ahead and run this, and it'll tell us that it's been completed. So we can go ahead and run it. It says that the facilities zip file has been downloaded. Now, what can we upload to ArcGIS Online and Enterprise? We can upload multiple types. There's hundreds of them, but some of the most common types are geopackages, file geodatabases, shapefiles, Excel spreadsheets, CSV files, and all other types in between. You can, when you're uploading things that have multiple files in them, so whether it's a shapefile or a file geodatabase, those are good examples. You have to zip those files up before you push them up, so into this compressed file format. So let's go ahead and start seeing how we can actually add these this information into our systems of record here. So items consist of multiple parts, and there's some requirements of probably what you want to add to make sure that you can catalog and find them. At minimum, you need to provide a title and type. And then tags are information that are put on items that allow you to search for them more efficiently. You can also add things like descriptions, and you can specify the file name, and you can do a whole host of other things. So in the example below, we're going to add a description, which you can see is quite lengthy, that I took from the open data site. So I want to give them proper citation. I'm going to provide my own title. It's a shapefile. I'm going to have these tags, so when I do a query search, I can better find my item. I'm going to give it a description, and then I'm going to specify a file name. You'll notice that the facilities nycdb.zip is the original name, but when I put it up on my system, I want to put the 2 at the end of it because maybe I have this item. Item properties, it should also be noted, can be specified as a dictionary, like I've done here, or there's an item properties data class that can be used to help guide your process. Once I have my item, I'm going to go ahead and get my folder. Folders are the location of where you're going to store content. Think of it just like your operating system. With a folder, we put a file in it on our local operating system. Well, it's the same way with our ArcGIS Online. And this helps us think about how we want content to be placed on our organization. We don't just want to have a giant bucket where we store everything in it. We want it organized in a meaningful way so we can quickly find our data or quickly erase our data when the project goes away or we don't need that information anymore. So using GIS content.folders.get gets the root folder item. If I were to specify a folder name in the get, it would get it if it exists, or else it would return none. I then pass the content that I want to put into it and say folder.add. So now I'm uploading my content here. I pass in my item properties, which is the dictionary we defined in the number 14, and then file equals the path to our file path. This creates a job object or a standard future object that comes with the Python library. Futures allow us to do things, we can do multiple things at once with them, and it's sort of like a promise in JavaScript very loosely, if you're familiar with that. So once the job has completed, we can go ahead and say job.result, and it'll give us back our item. Once we're done with the item, we can go ahead and delete it. And we for ArcGIS Online, because of the new delete function with the recycle bin, you want to make sure that you do permanent delete true, so it'll delete the item and it returns a boolean.